All right, let's do this. It's Friday. Let's edit. It's a thing, right? Hey, Peter and Julie. Awesome to have you here. Got a question for you guys. Ooh, how is the sound? I might need to tweak it down a little bit. I think I might be peeking on you guys. Let me tweak this just a hair. Back that down there. Check, check, check. All right, I think that should be okay. Yeah, today I'm live streaming and I'm testing a microphone that a friend of mine let me borrow. It is a sweet looking microphone. So I'd love to know if you guys notice any perceptible change in the sound, better, worse, indifferent. Just curious to hear what you guys have to say about it. We are editing, of course, from the live shoot that we did with Angela. And I initially had picked out this photo to edit, but then in doing a survey view of the set we did, lower the gain. I did that already. If I still need to lower it again, Peter, let me know. But it should be good. Sound is good. Hey, baby. We're going to edit this one right here. So we're going to start with the quick, easy thing, which is synchronize settings from this shot right over here. What are you guys up to this weekend, by the way? Hey, Ness, how's it going? Let's see. Check all, except we don't want crop and straighten. Alrighty. I have no idea about sound. I'm just wondering, like, you know, I already did a record test where I just sat down and I recorded with this mic for a few seconds of me talking, and I noticed a perceptible difference to myself when I listened to it back. I haven't had a chance yet to do an actual comparison. See, this is my regular microphone that I use, which is a cheap microphone. It's a Behringer, and that's not to say that it's a bad microphone. It's a Behringer XM8500, but it does have a fair amount of noise in it. And this mic, I was just talking with my friend about, like, you know, doing this stuff in general, and he said, I'm going to bring you my mic so you can try it out, because I think you'll really like it. Because I was talking about wanting to improve the sound a little bit in not these videos here, these live streams, but in the videos that I do in there when I am at my table and recording and all that sort of stuff, because I've never been terribly happy with the sound. Like, it's fine, but it's not what I want in terms of, like, sound quality, voice quality, things of that nature. So anyway, he just said, I've got a mic you should try. I think you'd really like it. So he brought it in for me, which was super nice of him. All right, I got to figure out, like, what feels straight in this shot. And I think we'll go with that. That feels straight. And he gave it to me listening to yourself talking. I know, right? I do a lot of listening to myself talking. Hello to Nguyen's. I'm probably saying that wrong, and I apologize. Nguyen's Gethro Street J. Hello. This, I think, looks pretty good. So I'm just going to double check my sharpening on this, which looks fine, and I don't see really anything. I'm going to pull. I think my highlights are down good. Let me check yeah, I've got nothing overexposed. All right, so this looks good already, and we're going to just pop right over into Photoshop right away and get to work. Well, spring started, so we've got some budding trees and stuff. I might take a long walk and try to capture some of that. Nice. I actually managed to shoot a bumblebee. That's super cool. Bumblebees are fun. Oh, I just thought of something. I might have to reposition this microphone. Maybe not. Let me get this. I'm going to just move this a little bit and then twist this and get the microphone feet out of my way. That should work. Get that back there. Get this editing keyboard out. Hello, Sandy. How's it going? How is he about it? He's talking to himself. Okay, here we go. So first things first, I'm going to do some basic super fast retouch. And I don't know that there's much of anything I'm going to even be able to retouch here. He does it so often I just ignore it. Is that a good or a bad thing, babe? All right, so let's go with the healing brush tool, and yeah, I know, blah, blah, blah. We'll get over here. I'm just going to do these little spots in this mirror here. That one requires clone stamp tool right there. Back to the healing brush. And so Peter, you're going to go out and you're going to take some photos possibly. Hello, Crichton. How's it going? Good evening from the United States. What are you guys doing this weekend? Again, we do this kind of once a week. We try to go on the weekend. We're going over to my father-in-law's. I actually made dinner earlier this morning because after I finished the stream, which, by the way, I'm going to have to cut a little early today. We're going to have to wrap the stream up at 2 o'clock instead of our normal 2:30 because I've got a meeting at 3 o'clock to discuss some projects with the library in town. So I'm going to be doing that today. And then if I have time after that, which I'm not sure I will, I'm going to come back home and try to edit not photo, but video, because I've got a lot of video work to do. I'm working on that course, of course. All right, so the background thing there, all the floor, I'm not sure if I'm going to clean that, or if I'm going to background fix it. So, Ness, you've got a question. Oh, I forgot to switch you guys. Sorry about that. You are supposed to see the screen I'm working on. I forgot I had that going. So now you should see the screen that I'm working on. 30th birthday photography. Ooh, actually, Julie, my beard has come back down. Well, you're right, because the beard in my profile pic is pretty scruffy. And this is a bigger beard. So maybe I should do another profile pic. Ness has a question. When you start to edit a picture, which program do you use more often, Photoshop or Lightroom? Maybe both. Ness, it's definitely both. I use Lightroom to do my basic raw processing. I also use Lightroom to do all of my culling and my selecting of my images. So like if we go back here to Lightroom, you'll see I haven't done a full cull on this set of photos here, but you'll see I've got some marked red. These are ones that are marked for edits. This actually needs to be removed because I'm not going to edit that one. And I manage my photos in Lightroom, and I do my basic edits in Lightroom as well. So with this photo that I'm currently working on, I did my basic edits already. You can see here, which I actually didn't show you guys because I had the screen the wrong way, but like I adjusted exposure, contrast, highlights, a little bit of clarity, all these sorts of things. I did my detail work down here. You can see the sharpening I did, masking, and that sort of stuff. And then once I'm done with my basic Lightroom stuff, that's when I move over to Photoshop and I do like what I call, quote unquote, like the real work, which is like the heavy editing, dodging and burning, retouching, cleaning up backgrounds and things of that nature. So it's definitely both. And I could live without Lightroom, but at this point, I probably couldn't really do what I like to do without Photoshop. I would need some sort of a Photoshop replacement if I didn't actually have Photoshop itself. I'm living with a husband doing a year at the moment. He has actually reached half a year today. That's awesome. I've never let it grow for like a full year without any kind of cutting or trimming. I should do that sometime and see what it turns out like. I'm not sure how good an idea that would be though. All right, I got to cancel this because I forgot I need to duplicate my layer or do a merge visible. So merge visible, and now we'll do a background fix. I may or may not use this technique on the background, but I'm going to give it a try and see what it looks like. Better late than never. Hey, Tim, how's it going, buddy? Always good to have you with us. We're definitely not going to use that intense a background blur. That should work out pretty well. So we'll take it to 30. We're on the background. We'll switch the brush. And come on. There we go. Alrighty. Make sure my flow is good. No, you really don't need to grow it for a year. Yeah, I figured that would be your reaction, hun. That doesn't surprise me that you don't want me to grow it for a year. I don't know if I would want to grow it for a year. Not with at least doing some sort of basic trimming to it, because my beard gets pretty bushy. I mean, I go 6 months. If you guys look back at some of my videos, you can see when my beard gets like super crazy. And it doesn't take long. It takes me about 3 or 4 months of just not doing anything for my beard to be like fully mountain man crazy looking. Beard or hair? Hair, by the way, is... I've got a new foil, so I'm every day I'm shaving my head, yeah, and keeping it bald, which I really like, because I really hate it when my hair's got, you know, little just stubby hair that sticks up off of me, but I don't like taking the clippers, like the full-on clippers, and going down to the basement where we have a mirror for cutting my hair, and doing it down there. So I would just let it go till it looked like terrible, and then I would go to the barber shop and have the barber cut my hair. But now I got this foil, which I can use in the bathroom and basically keep my hair at this, you know, shaved scalp, a bald look, and I really like it. Okay, let's do a little rotate on this so that this is a little easier. All right. Angela, not Candy, Sandy, you all had some really cool pics this week. I'm not commenting. I'm bad at... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been lurking a little bit in our Facebook group, and I've seen the photos you guys are posting, and you're doing some really fantastic work, especially with the faces theme this week. That's a really great theme, and I'm really enjoying the photos in the Facebook group for that. All right, so... Saturday, we're going to be out of town visiting some friends and family up north in more northern woods than we're already in as far as like the north woods go. And Sunday, I'll probably be working on videos in my video course. So that's kind of my weekend plan. Okay, that's looking pretty decent for the background. So now... I saw some fix. I'm gonna some stuff I'm gonna need to fix. I just missed. All right, let's noise this baby up. It's definitely gonna need more than 0.5. It's probably gonna be more like 2, even 3 maybe. Uniform, Gaussian, monochromatic. Okay, that's looking right. I think that is pretty good. That level of noise. Okay. I never saw it. Why have you got 2 circles instead of 1 in the pen? I never saw it. Okay, 2 circles? Are you... I'm not sure what you mean by 2 circles. Reset view. Are you talking about this here? When I'm doing the pen? Because if you're talking about this where you see the red and you see the circle... Ah, shit. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm back. Wouldn't be a stream from me without technical difficulties, would it? If you're talking about the red circle in the screen... Sorry, my stupid... This cord is ticking me off. Okay, let me get rid of that brush work that I did. I do want to delete that layer. That's good. Okay, so that circle that you see there, there's the circle inside the circle. There's a keyboard shortcut in Photoshop where if you hold down Control and Option on the keyboard, or Control and Alt if you have Windows, you can then move your mouse left and right to resize your brush, and up and down to change your hardness. So I use that shortcut all the time to adjust my brush size. So I'm holding down Control and Alt. I'm actually just holding down Control, but I have a keyboard that has some special shortcuts programmed in to adjust my brush size. And when I do that, you'll automatically see the inset circle that gives you that look. Okay, so this is done. that I hit the wrong button. I'm hitting all the wrong buttons today. There you are with your handsome scalp. Yep. Hello, Vincent. How's it going, bud? Always happy to have you here. Okay, we're going to delete that because that was a total mistake. And what I meant to do was a merge visible so that I could do a little bit more cleanup because I noticed these spots on Angela. So that right there, that little spot right there. There's a little bitty spot right here that I want to get, and this right here, and that spot there. So these little bits, I'm just going to do a little cleanup, little touch up here. Gets real zoomed in here, and hit those spots. I try not to get like too navel gazing when I'm correcting stuff like this, but I like to, zooming in allows you to clone more precisely and closer to the site, which makes it blend better, generally speaking. Let's get this spot on her foot. There, my daughter has just gotten out of bed, and I said, get over here, I need to practice taking some face shots, so she was kind of a wreck. I thought the moody shadowy light worked with her messy hair. That's awesome. I think that he meant the fact that the mouse cursor looks like a Venn diagram most of the time. That is depending on the tool that I'm using, I think. I can't remember which tool it is, to be perfectly honest with you. But I think that Venn diagram look is because of a particular tool that I might be using at a particular time. I'll send you a pic by Twitter. Okay, that sounds good. I bet you that tip on the brush size is on that new education that you're working on. Actually, Tim, now that you mention that, I was probably too ambitious in thinking that I could do a course that, oh boy, hold on. Oh, excuse me. That would cover both Photoshop and Lightroom. Because I'm not even done. I'm not even halfway done with the Lightroom stuff, and this course that I'm working on is already a beast. So I might end up breaking this up into two courses, a separate Lightroom and separate Photoshop course. Otherwise, I will never get it done. So right now, I'm anticipating that the course, the Lightroom course, is going to be around probably 20 to 30. It's going to be easily probably 30 videos. And I'm roughly halfway through the course. And I was hoping to have the whole thing done by the end of April. But, I mean, that's when I say the whole thing, I mean both courses that I was going to try. Not both courses, but this one whole course being Lightroom and Photoshop together. But I'm almost... I want that to happen. I'm still working on that, but I think it's just going to be a Lightroom course, is basically what I'm saying, followed by a Photoshop course, maybe later this year or something along those lines, depending on the timing and how things work. So that's my current plan, just because I didn't really anticipate that the undertaking was going to be quite as big as it is, and I should have realized that, but... You know how you get an idea in your head and you think, oh yeah, I can do that. And then you actually take on the project and you realize, oh, maybe I was a little too ambitious with what I thought I could do here. Okay, so I'm just looking for like the spots and the things that I want to touch up. This is a bit of a tricky spot right here. See, this is a bald cap. I don't know if I'm going to try to do anything with this or not. I can't decide. I am going to hit that little spot right there and that little spot right there. That's fair. Both are just massive. The more I learn, the more I realize I don't know anything. Thank you, Julie. You're using it now. Well, not now. Oh, got it. I think you're talking about this right here. Right? If this is what if this is what you mean, you said you'd send me a picture on Twitter. Let me open TweetDeck so I can see if you sent that picture along. And what... yeah, log in, blah, blah. Leave me alone, Twitter. Let me get over here and look. Okay, let me see. Let me look. Ness sent me. Oh, that right there. I think that, Ness, I think that was just like a screen glitchy thing that happened, to be perfectly honest with you. Of me just moving my my mouse like really quickly back and forth, and that showing up like that. That would be my best guess for that. Okay, back to the work. Because sometimes when you move it super fast, I'm going to have to go back and actually look at what I was doing at that particular point in the video, and I might be able to give a better answer to that, Ness. So I am going to do a little bit of work with this bald cap here, I think. An idea for this edit, I think you need to make a color shift on the spot below her knee. The spot below her knee, you talking right here? Okay, hold on. Are you talking about this spot right here that I just highlighted, Peter, in the square? If you are, let me know. Because I can see what you mean. There's a little bit of like flesh color coming out of there. Besides eating together, I rarely see Spyros since he's always working on the new course. It's like this always. Yeah, it is. All right, back to this. Yeah, I think you're right, Tim. I think I'm just gonna let the bald cap be. It kind of plays in. Yeah, I'm gonna let it be. Okay, so right now I'm just looking for anything else I need to clean up, to retouch, to fix up, and everything looks pretty darn good. I don't see any distracting spots on Angela. And I think I got everything in the mirror. And the wall looks fine. We're not doing a skin softening on this. There's another spot right here I just peeped, so I'm going to fix that real quick. And that right there. Thanks for being supportive. I know that's also support from a wife. Yeah, she is super, super supportive. She is the reason I'm able to do all of the things that I do. So I am grateful for my wonderful wife every day. Okay. Okay, this looks good. Let's go for dodge and burn time. This is actually good. This might, I don't want to jump the gun, but this might actually go fairly quickly for an edit for me, which is usually a shocker, right? Because I'm not like this, the retouching stuff isn't super massive. I mean, I got that cleaned up, and that's really kind of all that needed to happen. So but this dodge and burn is going to be a job. That's always the hard part. So I'm going to try to stay methodical so I don't lose track of where I have and where I haven't done my dodge and burn work. And that looks good. Hey, Mr. Noodle, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a while in the chats, man. How you been? Good to have you with us. We're just working on some Cyborg action here, of course, as you can see. And it is coming along nicely so far. And what I'm doing is, of course, I'm dodging and burning the detail that Otto painted on her to kind of really bring out like the depth of what he did and how she looks, which I think is really, really, really cool. All right, so I'm going to keep working this way on the scalp. The double circles are something that tend to appear when you use the healing brush and or the spot healing brush. It's not an artifact from the video compression. It's something we see a lot. Okay, yeah, just in seeing the picture, I'll have to go back and look at what I was doing, but I think Peter's right about that. I think it's one of the tools, probably the clone stamp tool or the healing brush tool that I was using at that particular moment, showing that double circle there. All right, so just again, I'd like to ask you guys, do you notice anything discernibly different about the sound? I am using a different microphone today, a microphone that a friend of mine let me borrow to test out, and it's a sweet looking mic. And in the test that I did just before we started the stream, it's a sweet sounding mic as well. But I'd love to get your feedback. Those of you that are on the other end of this listening, does this sound any better, any worse, or not really a discernible difference in sound to you guys at all? Okay, that looks pretty good. Move on to the side of the face. Yeah, okay, got it, Photoshop. No, wait, I see it now too. Okay. Hello, Fan May Who? Hello. I've been good. You've been busy at university. It's the end of the year. Yeah, so lots to do. I can imagine that. I've been just as busy as we were just discussing briefly that I'm working on the video course, the post-processing one, which initially was going to try to encompass 2 programs, Lightroom and Photoshop. Not going to do that anymore, I don't think. And trying to do some editing on photos as well, because I don't like to take as long as I do and make the models wait for the photos any longer than I have to. So it's a balancing act between the two that I try to manage as best as I can. All right, this is looking pretty good. You're a bit nasal and need more bass. Interesting. I think the sound is slightly clearer than usual. Not much, though. Okay. Sound is a little more bassy to Tim, but but Peter says, okay, wait a minute. Who said... Peter said, I think the sound is... you're a bit... So Fan May said, I'm a bit nasal, need more bass. Yeah, you got... Okay, so everybody's hearing something different. That's pretty hilarious. All right. So I haven't shot anything for a while, but what I'm really excited about is next weekend I'm going to an event, a photography event. There's going to be a whole bunch of photographers there, a whole bunch of models there, and we're all going to be shooting together. And it's going to be super fun. I'm super excited for it. The event is called Glitter, and that's basically the theme, sort of like disco, kind of 70s, kind of nightclub glitter, sort of whatever. And I'm stoked because I've been working on these projects and trying to get photos edited and everything else. So I haven't been shooting very much at all lately, outside of, like, obviously Angela and I did the live shoot with the newspaper the other day. Was that last week already? Or was that the week? No, that was 2 weeks ago because I did the live edit last week. And I'm excited to shoot again. But I've kind of been doing this now just about, or at least for the last 2 years, I've kind of taken a break at the beginning, sort of middle-ish of the year to do 2 things. One, to catch up on editing because I tend to start the year behind. And then number 2, to work on projects I might be working on. So this seems to be like the new pattern of my photography, which is to shoot pretty furiously for a period of time towards the middle/end of the year, and then come back after that and take a break from shooting and just focus on the editing and or any special projects I might be working on. Any of you guys go through cycles like that where you shoot furiously for a while and then you're kind of on a break for a while from it? I'd be curious to know what your patterns are like. I'll give you guys a few minutes to pop something into the chat. Well, I continue to dodge and burn. It's like, and if you guys notice, like the dodge and burn, it's the thing that I do the most of on the images. Glitter, yes, glitter. Thank you guys. You had a solid relationship. We do try to have a solid relationship. It's a little on the low side, but it's very clear. Okay, good to know. Yeah, 19 years is going to be awesome. Give Mark the Powerless a shout out. Whoa, Mark doesn't have any power? Oh, that's a bummer. Are you talking about Mark Evers, Mark? Like Mark, my Photoblab partner, Mark? because he said, and now that you mention it, he said he was going to try to watch, and I was expecting him to show up in the chat, but I just figured he, maybe got busy or something happened. But maybe that's something that happened, is that he's out of power, which is a total bummer. So a shout out to Mark the Powerless, if that happens to be the case. Ooh, 19 years for you, Tim, too? That's awesome. Congratulations to you and your wife. That's super cool. All right. Quick question for you guys. I meant to ask this, I think last week, and I forgot. I haven't yet, but I kind of want to play with different times on the edits and add some later times. Would you guys be interested in watching this at a different time? I would keep this afternoon time that I edit like I am now, but I'm also thinking about editing in the, maybe editing in the evening too on a different day of the week to try out like a different time slot essentially for people, because I don't know, people are in different time zones and all this other sort of stuff. And so it might be a way for other people who don't get a chance to watch when I edit to watch. And just curious if any of you find it difficult to show up. I know some of you are pretty regular here, which is awesome. And as usual, I appreciate that. But how many of you can't usually make it because the timing of this isn't all that great for you in particular? Like Mark is an example. Mark, I think, is typically at work when I do this, and so he usually can't join the edits. But if I did it I don't know, Thursday night at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock or something, I wonder if that would work for some people too. My pattern is developing. I'm still new, but yes, I have had a full lull here and there throughout the winter, but I think that's a seasonal lull. That can happen too. Hello, Mark MC. How's it going? Yes, our Mark. Bummer that he's out of power. That sucks. Hello, Subam. How's it going? Julie, so your hobbies are like that. Tim kind of is like that as well. Mr. Noodle, I have hot and cold moments. I may manically shoot for a week or two and then have a quiet week and vice versa. Vincent, I'm confused. Why are there seasons? We have the first communion and the confirmation season from March to end of May. Then weddings. Okay, yeah. So people are busy shooting all those communions and confirmations, and then the weddings kick in, and so it's just a different sort of work in those different seasons. I get it. Okay, that's working out nicely. I'm going to keep focusing on her back for now, and then I'll come back and hit her arms and legs, because I'm going to move down the major part of her body here. And this needs a little bit of this here. Do you guys notice this? He put this face on her back kind of in this. It's really cool. All right, so I need to just focus on this area here. There's some craziness going on here, Otto. This is some awesome stuff. And I'm excited to get this out too, so that Otto can see it. Because he's a really talented guy, and I was really glad to be able to work with him on this shoot with Angela. We haven't done any more body paints. I think it would be fun to do, but man, that was a heck of a production. Although now, of course, I've got the streaming setup in the studio is way better. Oh, and the same friend that let me borrow this mic, he dropped off a couple of panels that I can use for sound diffusion in my studio to help clean up the audio in there. So I'm really excited to give that a try, because that's one of the things that I've been frustrated with is the quality of my, look at that. Oh God, I love the way that pops out like that. The quality of my audio in the studio, I'm happy with it volumetrically, but what I'm frustrated with is I've got a ton of noise in my signal, and I'd like to just get a little bit of a cleaner sound and a sound that's a little bit more representative of my voice. I think what you guys are hearing with this mic that I'm using, and even the mic that I use normally, this $20 job right up here that I've got. No, this thing's gonna fall off on me now. Those give a pretty representative sound of what my voice like actually sounds like, so to speak. But the mic that I use in the studio, the lav mic, and the mic that I use when I'm recording my videos at the table, those mics aren't quite as representative. They're a little bit higher pitched, a little less bassy, and that doesn't really capture the full range of my voice. Not that, you know, I'm going for like vocalist of the year or anything like that, but you know, you want good sound if you can get it. And whoops, I'm looking for that in the, you know, the easiest configuration that I can get. Spyros just puts me in front of the TV like parents do to kids, and I'm content. Her left shoulder blade area kind of looks like a robot face. Exactly, that's what I was talking about, Tim. The school's closing mid-June. That's cool. Me, but I'm late for everything. It's not your schedule. Okay, well, I mean, that's something worth... Spyros, should I invest in a new lens or a teleconverter kit? Subham, what for? Like, what do you want to do with the lens and or teleconverter kit? Are you looking at shooting, you know, wildlife and stuff? Also, if you're looking for a teleconverter, I need to know what lenses you currently have and are planning to use the teleconverter on, because not all lenses are suitable for use with a teleconverter kit. So pop that information into the chat, and I will happily try to give you some guidance on that, Sabam. Kim Heniadis aligns well with motherboard PC parts. They are not anymore. All of those motherboard parts are actually down in a box in my basement, our basement, and they are basically being saved for the next time I might need to do a cybernetic wall of tech for a photo shoot. I might end up getting rid of them at some point, but for now we decided to keep them because it makes sense to hold on to that kind of a prop or supply. Since I already have it, no sense in getting rid of it, right? Okay, so let's pull out here. It's coming together real nice. I just need to get like the back half of her back, and I think that'll look good. Good. I hope you don't mind me answering that one. Oh, yeah, no, go ahead and answer, Tim. That's cool. Give us a tune. Oh, I thought Sabam meant where Spyros puts me when he's working upstairs. Oh, Julie, I'm going to have to check that out. Julie, do you mind if I grab that and share it on the stream here, the picture of your husband? If you don't want me to, I won't. But if we want to show off his beard, I'll happily quickly hop over there and grab that and drag the window over here so everybody can see it. Because I'm certainly curious to see his beard as well. His yeard, as you're calling it. His year of beard. Which I think is awesome. But I will say this. Like, I do like my beard, but I'm not... And probably part of the reason for this, that I'm not, like, super, like, intense about my beard. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I like my beard, and I, you know, I like it more than I don't like it, and so... there's that, but I also at the same time, like, if I'm gonna cut, I'll just cut it off. You know, if I don't need my beard, it's just gonna go. And I usually do that in the summer and then let it grow in the winter so that I have some warmth to protect my face. But for me, like, facial hair has never been a problem. In fact, the problem has been that it won't stop growing. I had a beard when I was in 6th grade of school. That would be, I think, for those of you in the UK, I think that would be, is that still primary 6th grade for you guys? I don't know. For me, that was middle school. But, you know, I was pretty darn young. Like 10, 11, I was already getting a beard coming in, like fluff growing on my chin, like long hairs growing down my chin, not like, you know, peach fuzz, like a lot of, you know, a lot of us get before you actually get the beard itself. And that was actually... that actually sucked because I got teased mercilessly because of that. And, I mean, I just got picked on in school in general. I was one of those kids. So the beard didn't help that at all. At all. And so when I was younger, I hated it, and I didn't want a beard at all. And I think, you know, for quite a while I shaved pretty regularly and tried to keep my face clean. But then I got to a point where like, well, I just don't care anymore. And shaving was just too much work on top of it. So then that's when I got to the point where like the facial hair is the facial hair. And I grow it in the winter for the face. I do like the way it looks, and so I am a little bit of a beard guy in that sense. And I'm not allowed per Kim to like ever shave my face entirely because she says I look like a baby and it creeps her out. So there's that. But I do like my beard. But I'm also not like crazy obsessive about it, or at least I try not to be. Okay, that's looking good. The bird's nest surprises me a bit. Most gingers I've known haven't been able to grow thick beards. Yeah, that's true. Good shot, Julie. Wow. Oh, so he's a ginger. Okay. Oh, Sabam, I see you clarified something. Not sure about my lenses. Currently watching outside. We'll get back to you once I get home for sure. Okay, that sounds good. Oh yeah, Tim, I can answer that question. That's a good. Thank you for reminding me. I was just seeing that's a man's beard. Nope, you do that. Thanks, Peter. Does Spyros? How long have you known Spyros, and how old is he currently? I'm 41, Sabam. I was 12 when I sprouted chest hair and such. Got teased plenty too. Yep. At 11, we tend to be in third year of school, halfway through the last tier. No shaving the facial hair, too creepy. Julie, I didn't catch if you were okay with me sharing that picture or not here on the stream. I'm gonna go look at it on Facebook either way, even if I don't share it. I want to see it. Let me get over there. The Facebook, and switch back to Photoshop for a moment here, so I can actually work. Okay, I need to get this here. All right, let's see. Photography with Spyros and Mark. I think you're on her lower back right now. Looks a bit like a demon face. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Tim. It looks like a predator face to me is actually what I'm seeing, which I think is pretty cool. Oh, there it is. That's a heck of a beard he's got going on there, Julie. I can share. Okay, here it comes, gang. Here is the beard on Julie's husband's face. That's a sweet looking beard. I like it. I like his hat too. He looks dapper. That's awesome. I gotta make sure I hit that with a like. That's cool. Thanks for sharing that, Julie. Appreciate that. All right. His beard, he is gorgeous. I think you're on her lower back. Yep. Predator face is an even better description. Yeah, let me pull back. I mean, it's like a layered predator face almost. There's like a face you can see here. There's another face you can see there that looks predator-like. So that's what's so cool about the body paint stuff. You know, Otto did all of this, and it's like, you know, there are details inside of details that he puts in here, which I think are just fantastic. You know what I mean? And I'm going to definitely make sure I pull that out a bit. Okay, I got that. Good. Alrighty. So the question, Tim, your question. So Tim's question was, Tim, can you type the question in the chat for me one more time? Just to make sure that I know that I'm answering the right question. I think I do, but I want to make sure. So I'll wait for you to pop that in. That also will give everybody else a reference to come back to so that they know what I'm talking about when I answer this question for you. So if you don't mind doing that, I'd appreciate that, Tim. And then we'll get to it. It's about flashes and intensity and understanding the power of them, and also the flash zoom, I think. But I just want to clarify. Okay, so that area is done. It's 1:43 already. I'm not going to finish this before I need to wrap up and get going out to the library. I've also got to clean up the kitchen because I cooked earlier today and I cook and it looks like the kitchen exploded. So that's why I need to do that before we leave, because I don't think I'll be coming back home after my meeting before I get Kim, and then we go to my father-in-law's. Boop. All righty. Did I hit that there? I did hit that there. Okay. Hey, hello, Racing 1669. He's a bit of a character. His personality fits the hat and everything else. That's very cool. Wonderful background. Oh yeah, that is my photo, Sabam. This here, I'll show you the one that we're looking at. So let me hit the grid, and that's Candice. Where is she? Here she is. So this is the photo that you're asking about, Sabam. These are the photo details itself, shot at 1/250th of a second using the aperture of f5.6 and an ISO of 200 on my Olympus OMD EM5 Mark II with the 12 to 40 millimeter f2.8 lens. Okay, this photo, that's 300 pounds of flour that she's laying in, actual baking flour. And what I did was I built a box frame and filled it up with the flour, and then she laid down in the flour. And let me show you the original photo, the before photo, before the edit photo. So this is the edited version. This is before the edit. So you can see the flour's a mess. We cleaned that flour up, but that's really, I mean, the difference is just cleanup and refining things, right? So the background cleanup I did using my standard background technique, and I've got the flower, and we had her lit from the front and the back with a couple of different lights. I was shooting from up above, and boom, that was the photo we got. It's a photo that I love, just love, which is why I said it as my background. If you have any more questions about it, let me know, and I can clarify anything that you might be looking for. But that's what that is. So my question is, new to photography, especially flash. I was messing around with the shoe shot for transportation. I was struggling with too much light from the flash. I figured out how to make it less powerful, but there are zoom features and such. I don't know how or why to choose settings. Okay. Yes, Vincent, I have noticed that about the ads on Instagram. They really are pushing those out. And by the way, Vincent, I don't think I follow you on Instagram. What's your handle there? Or at least if I'm following you, Instagram is not showing me your stuff, because I don't remember seeing you in my feed at all. So to Tim's question, there's the power of the flash, right? And then there's the zoom, and they are related, but they are also separate. And here's the deal. So first of all, the power of your flash is given as a guide number. And if you look at your flashes, if you look at the box for your flash or the manual for your flash, or just look it up online, you'll see a specification that says something like GN, or it might say guide number, and then it'll give you a measurement in feet and or meters. Typically, the standard is actually, I think the standard is typically meters, but because those of us in the US are still stuck on the standard measurement system, and those of you in the UK, if I recall correctly, they do it typically in both feet and meters. And what that guide number means is that your flash, at its highest power, at its maximum zoom, can illuminate a subject that is that particular distance away from you when taking a photo with an ISO of 100 on your camera and an aperture of something like f8, I think, or maybe f4 or something like that. So it's a particular condition, a particular set of conditions that a flash is set to with a camera, and then it is tested to see how far out can a subject be and still be illuminated by that flash. And then that distance is given as the flash's guide number, which is an indication of how powerful the flash is. And in a nutshell, the higher the guide number, the more powerful your flash is, right? So if you have a flash that has a guide number of 35 meters, and then you have a flash that has a guide number of 60 meters, the flash with a guide number of 60 meters is a more powerful flash. And it's more powerful because it can illuminate things that are a farther distance away. Now, that doesn't mean you have to use it to photograph things that are 60 meters away from you, right? Like, that's actually a fairly impractical use for your flash, although in a pinch you can use it that way. Okay, Sabam, catch you later, man. I am following. Okay, that's good. Then I'm going to need to head over to your feed and actually see some of your stuff because Instagram hasn't been showing it to me. But back to the guide number. So a higher guide number means a more powerful flash. That's a baseline feature. But you can also zoom your flash, and the zoom is part of that guide number rating. Okay, so what the zoom does... I thought I had one here in my... I don't have one in my drawer. I need to put a flash in my drawer just so I can refer to it periodically. Okay, so, hey, Brian, how's it going, bud? So you've got your flash head, right, on your flash, and it maybe is like 2 inches by 3 inches, right? Or maybe 1 inch by 2 inches, okay? So whatever. We'll just say it's 1 inch by 2 inch. That's a fairly small surface area. But then you've got your flash head or tube, and if your flash can zoom, then what happens is inside of that head, the light bulb, essentially, the capacitor light bulb, can be moved back and forth inside of that tube. And where you position it in that tube will change how wide the beam is. Because if you have it at the very front, right? So like if this is the front of your flash right here, and the light bulb is literally right behind the piece of plastic, then the beam of light is going to be fairly wide because there's nothing to constrain it. It's just coming right out of the flash head, and it's just going to go all over the place, okay? But if you zoom the flash from that spot to say something like 105 degrees, which is a pretty standard flash zoom point at its longest zoom, then what you've done is you've taken, this is the piece of plastic. Now the light bulb is all the way back here, and it's surrounded by the black tube of the flash head. And that black tube is going to act like a hose and force the light into a tighter beam because it's coming out of this tunnel. And that means the light is going to stay more contained as it travels from the flash, and when it hits the subject, it will be more intense, because if you tighten up that beam, it is going to be brighter and more intense, rather than if you let that beam spread out as it travels. Okay? So the zoom affects two things. One, the zoom actually does affect the intensity of the light. So if you take a photograph of the same thing with your flash at full power, but you use one zoom at 105 millimeters, and then another zoom setting at the widest angle, which might be 14 millimeters on your flash, the 100 millimeter shot will be much brighter than the 14 millimeter shot, even though you're still shooting the flash at full power. And the reason for that difference is because of the intensity of the beam and how much it was allowed to spread out. That serves the second purpose for that is to match the beam to the coverage of your lens. So when you are shooting a 105 millimeter lens, in theory, you should use a 105 millimeter zoom to contain the light from the flash inside of what the camera can see through the lens at 105 millimeters. And then likewise, in theory, if you're shooting at, say, 14 millimeters or 18 millimeters or whatever, your beam should be 18 millimeters wide so that it can fill the entire area that you are currently photographing. So that's the purpose of the zoom when it's on top of the camera. It is designed to match the angle of view that your lens can see, but you can manipulate that on purpose to change the intensity of the light if you want to. And it's an abstract kind of thing because you might sometimes want, like you might be shooting a photo with the lens at 14 millimeters as an example, right? But you might on purpose want your flash zoom to be at 100 or 50 or 75 millimeters because you actually want a more intense and a more focused light on your subject. And I actually do that quite often. In fact, when you guys see me, put the flash up on the stand all by itself and I maybe put a flag on it, I've often got the flash head zoomed, and I should be better about clarifying that when we're out in the studio shooting. And this is something that I'll demonstrate. I'll actively demonstrate this coming Wednesday when we go back out into the studio for our next lighting photo blab in studio show. I'll demonstrate the difference between a tight beam zoom lens or flash shot and a wide beam zoom flash shot. Basically, it's another way for you to control your light and focus the beam to a particular area, whether that be a wider area or a narrower area. And in focusing the beam, you also affect the intensity of that beam, making it brighter or not quite so bright based on how far that beam is allowed to spread out. So Tim, I hope that it clarifies and helps answer that question for you. And if there's more questions related to this, go ahead and throw them into the chat. You guys know I'm happy to talk about this stuff and answer these questions for you. That is, after all, why I do this all in the first place, is to try to help everybody else learn so you guys can have just as much fun shooting out there and taking photos and spend less time worrying about all the fussing around and learning the stuff and fiddling with the equipment that doesn't do what you think it should do, because it's something that is complicated and requires some understanding of how it functions. Thanks, that helps a bunch. Still planning your flash course, but need to get the rest of the stuff under my belt so I don't feel more overwhelmed. Totally got it. Totally understand. Vincent, I agree with you. I've been seeing those ads more and more, and sometimes I don't mind them because the ad is a really spectacular photo. And if it's a good photo, I can appreciate the photo for what it is, even if it's coming through an ad. But I have also been seeing more of them, and not all of them are photos. And when it isn't a photo and it is just an ad crammed into my feed, I do find that obnoxious. And one of the other things, Vincent, I'm curious to see if you or anybody else has noticed this on Instagram. I'm also seeing now in my feed, as I'm scrolling through Instagram, my feed is being broken up by this more for you suggestions that Instagram is putting in line to try to get me to click through to other photographers' photos to look at their profile and follow them or whatever. And I kind of don't like that. I get they're trying to make discovery easier, and I think that's a good thing. But I tell you what, the suggestions it was giving me for things that it thought I would want to look at were way off. Way off in terms of the type and style of photos that I typically tend to like and try to, follow and appreciate on Instagram, and what they thought I would be interested in seeing. They did not line up at all. So if that discovery engine was firing accurately, I might be more open to that. But as of right now, I am not liking that thing showing up in my feed at all, because I just find it a distraction from the photos that I want to see, and it's not presenting me with stuff that I do want to see. Okay, so I am going to have to end this stream shortly because I do need to clean up and get ready for that appointment. By clean up, I mean my kitchen. I am myself cleaned up. I showered after I worked out. Yes to the more for you. It pisses me off. Okay, I missed something because I'm not sure what you mean by that, Tim. A lot of the older film cameras have a flash symbol on 1/60th because that's the best sync time. That's my fantastic fact of the day. Yeah, so that's a limitation of the shutter on those cameras, Mr. Noodle. Those cameras were only capable of using a flash with a shutter speed of 1/60th of a second. It's not that it's the best. It actually just means that that's the fastest shutter speed that you can use and still use a flash. If you tried to go faster than that, then you'd get that black bar in your photo, which is a photograph of the shutter inside the camera, because the shutter is blocking part of the frame while the flash is going off. So that's what that's referring to, Mr. Noodle, and that's called the sync speed. All right. I'm getting a crap load of the edit makeover of your selfies. Yeah, I don't like those. Oh, okay, I got it, Tim. I got it. Hey, Jonathan, how's it going? And Jonathan, did I see that it was your birthday recently? I apologize. I haven't been on Facebook much lately, Jonathan, so I missed that. And everybody, do me a huge favor, would you? And wish my buddy Jonathan here a happy birthday, because it was his birthday recently, and I think he deserves a shout out for that. All right. And yeah, the more for you stuff sucks. Sync speed is a limitation that we got to deal with. That kind of sucks. But, oh God, this is looking good. All right, I'm just seeing where I've gotten and where I've missed. I'm going to come back in here because I think I need this to be a little more detailed. All right. I'm going to go a little bit over on this because it won't take me forever to do the dishes and clean up the kitchen. I think I'll take this to 215. How's that sound, guys? All right. These I've gotten. Hello, Austin Pope. How's it going, bud? It was. All right, good. I'm glad I got it. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jonathan. That's cool. I'm glad I didn't make everybody wish you a happy birthday and it wasn't actually a birthday, because then I'd feel a little bit goofy, but that's the way it goes sometimes. So did you do anything special for your birthday, Jonathan? All right. This is the tedious part, you guys know, the dodge and the burn. Oh, I know. I wanted to ask you guys a question. So you guys hang out with me. You watch me do this editing stuff live as it's happening, as it were. What would you guys think about what's called a speed edit, where I would actually take this video and essentially like turn it into a time lapse and speed the whole thing up, and have like the time it takes me to edit this photo be compressed down to say maybe 2 or 3 or 4 minutes, and have that as a video that's on my channel that people could watch, where you could watch a time lapse of the whole editing process from start to finish. Something to watch on my channel. I've had a couple of people mention that to me because I do these live shows, and it never really occurred to me to record. I mean, obviously I'm already recording them on YouTube, as it were, but to then take them and make them into like a speed edit type video. So I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on that. Looking good, looking good. Oh, that's a spot that needs some darkening. And here's the funny thing. I always seem to take on these shoot types in these projects that require a ton of dodging and burning, which I do because I love the look it gives. We've discussed this before, but boy, does it take the time. I did some shooting and a few late evening libations. Nice, some relaxing stuff. All those suggestions are like the crap that used to come with the Postman. Right, Vincent, exactly. That's exactly it. It's garbage that I actually don't want. If it was garbage that I did want, I'd maybe be less inclined to hate on it. But so far, they've been no good. Spyros, you should be outside today. It's fantastic. Yeah, I know it is. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Angela says, I'd love to watch it. Okay, that's cool, because you can cover more topics and we can do the homework, for lack of a better term, later. Okay. Yes to the edit. Would want to give the live stuff up, but yes, would be so cool to see the flipping from layers, etc. Sounds good with the time lapse. Okay, so that sounds like a thing that I should maybe give a try. I will, what I'm going to have to do is figure out, because this isn't a full edit, right? Like, this isn't going to be done by the time this live stream is done. So I would have to figure out the recording of the whole thing versus just a partial. And I actually almost decided to separately screen record this today, but then at the last minute, because I was trying to get this microphone set up that I'm testing, and I was doing a couple other things, I didn't quite have time to set up to record the screen. Excuse me. So I decided to not try to do that today. But I will make an effort to do some of those and pop those up on my channel, and we'll see how they go. See if people like them or not. Because why not, right? I mean, it's not like it's not like I'm not going to be sitting here editing anyway, and it's nothing for me to hit record and let the screen record run while I'm editing. And I would just put it to music in all likelihood. Or maybe, I mean, I think initially I would probably just put it to music as a time lapse that could be watched. Although later on I could edit it, or not edit, but voice over the video, you know, and just discuss like what I was doing, which some people do for their speed edits and stuff like that. What would you guys prefer? Curious, a voiceover or just see it as a music video-ish kind of thing with, you know, some cool song behind it or whatever. I'm guessing you guys would probably like a voiceover so you could understand what was happening at any given time. But do let me know in the chat. All right. All right, all right, all right. That's Matthew McConaughey, isn't it? Who does that? That, all right, all right, all right. I think it is. My wife likes him. She is enamored of Matthew McConaughey. I don't blame her. He's a handsome dude. Especially when he does that, all right, all right, all right. The dodge and burn stuff is so worth it, yeah. I can't seem to make dodge and burn well. You could do half and half, speed up and then talk a bit, then speed up and explain, then speed up, or pause and explain parts. Yeah, Vincent, I would use royalty-free music so that I wouldn't have to worry about the copyright stuff. And I have, and this is no secret. I mean, there are resources out there for royalty-free stuff. So I have a bunch of royalty-free tracks that I've gathered over like the last couple of years or so. I just have a huge folder on my hard drive that's full of royalty-free stuff that I can use in videos and things like that. So I would use something like that rather than, you know, say like Taylor Swift or something for the photo. Like for an edit of this, which is, you know, kind of a cyber robotic transhuman theme, I'd probably try to find some kind of techno-y sort of, you know, robot-y, for lack of a better word, music to go with it. But, you know, Spyros, it's his southern voice. Just admitted more than he wanted to about Matthew McConaughey. Yeah. Kim's got her southern voice too. We were down in Memphis this one time. This was so funny. We were down in Memphis. We were at Graceland, and okay, so I'm the sort of person, right? Like, I'm a photographer, so when we go places, I tend to notice when people have cameras, and I kind of watch them. And I've been known to notice a person struggling with their camera and go up and say, hey, you know, would you like a little help? I could maybe show you how to do this a little better so you could get the picture you want to get. And my wife is, not that she's, you know, a horrible, because she's not a horrible person, but she's always like, just leave him alone. Just don't do it. Just don't bother. Leave him alone, right? Which is fine. I get it, because we're out doing our thing and they're doing their thing and I should just let them be. But we were in Memphis, and we were coming across, we were at Graceland, and they've got Priscilla's plane, and then they've got Elvis's plane right next to each other for you to tour them both. And we were coming out of Priscilla's plane and heading over to Elvis's plane, and there was a group of people trying to take a photo, a group photo by the plane. Like, hey, look here, you know, basically a plane selfie. But this is before cell phones were like super major, so they were using an actual camera. Point and shoot. But at any rate, I saw them, I looked at them, and I didn't say anything. I just kept walking. We were going over to the plane, and out of nowhere, my wife turns around and says to these people, would y'all like my husband to take a photo of you? And I was like, who are you, lady? Because first of all, she threw that y'all in there. And then she stopped and she offered for me to take the picture for him. It was just a super funny moment. And it's something that this is a story that I tell periodically, that we always get a laugh over, just because it was so uncharacteristic of Kim, especially to throw the y'all in there. That was a total hoot. Problem with the speed edit is that it can become a bit weird to watch with people zoom in and out all the time. Yeah, that's true, Julie. That's something that I thought about when I was thinking about it. Hello to Awais Khan. I'm not sure if I'm saying that properly. I apologize if I'm not. Hello to you in India. Thank you for joining. And hello, Emmanuel. How's it going? Kim, I hope you don't mind me telling that story. She usually doesn't, so I figure it's okay for me to spill the beans on that one. Y'all need someone to take a picture for you? If you're in the South for more than a day, then you become Southern. I guess so. And plus, Kim, she's always maintained that she's a Southern belle at heart, even though she was born and raised in these North Woods, as we call them, of Wisconsin. And me, I don't know what you'd call me at heart. I'm just a dude, I guess. I'm a dude. All right. Okay, this is we're doing okay. Still not going to finish this, but we're making some progress here. Okay, let's see how this looks. Yeah, doesn't that look good? God, that looks good. So that's dodge and burn on. Looks amazing. That's dodge and burn off. So I still got to come over here, and I've got to get the side of her torso here and the side of her breast. I got to get her arm and legs. But we've made some pretty darn good progress on this image today, and boy, does it look good. I just realized something. In addition to dodging and burning her, I'm going to need to dodge and burn her reflection of her. So this is actually going to take even longer than I thought it would take to edit. In a past life, I know it was those verandas and the southern juleps. Yes, the juleps, the mint juleps. What was that show that we used to watch, hon, on CW, set in that town in Georgia? God, she was the doctor lady from New York. Whoa, my stand thing is like attacking me. This is problematic. There we go. Get that up out of the way. What was the name of that show? It's off the air now, but it was on for quite a while, and we enjoyed it for a few seasons before we stopped watching it. Lemon Breland was one of the characters, and I can't think of the name of it. It was like Heart of Dixie. Heart of Dixie. That was it. Heart of Dixie. We watched that show for a little while. It was kind of amusing in a sort of soap opera-y, primetime kind of way. Mint juleps. Yes, I'm the tiny purple dragon. Haha, dodge and burn to the dodge and burn. Yeah, I know. All right, I'm going to finish this little section here, and then we're going to wrap this baby up today. So, I want to hit that, and lighten that, and darken that, and that right there, too. Just think, I might spend as much time editing a photo like this as it took Otto to paint Angela up in the first place. I spent probably 3 or 4 hours editing a different photo. There's a lot of touch-up work I had to do on it because of the particular theme and the way it was a black tape photo is what it was. And that took a fair amount of editing to clean the tape up to look nice. So I spent some serious time on that, but boy, does it look good. Yeah, that really helps that stand out. I'm going to hit these a little harder. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. Whew, it was Heart of Dixie. Okay. All right, this looks really good. I'm going to very quickly catch this here because that's going to be super fast. Shadows there. Okay, that's good. Boom. All right, this is it. Let's save. I so want to go and work on something in Photoshop. I started this with it as a drawing tool. Oh, cool. See, I've never drawn in Photoshop, but I've never been much of a drawer. I mean, I can draw a little bit. I did spend a little bit of time trying to like learn how to draw and get better. But then I realized that I don't know why I fell out of it. I just did. I don't remember why, but I enjoyed drawing when it was, but I was doing it like on paper rather than digitally drawing. Mark, that's hilarious. Picture I couldn't dodge. Pity, sorry, I'm spitting water. Pity I couldn't dodge and burn the dishes. Yeah, that's exactly right. Julie, I always use SketchUp for drawings, but they are for dimensional work, not drawings. Okay, so at any rate, this has been super fun as usual, you guys. I love that you hang out with me, and I appreciate the heck out of it. So I want to say thank you for spending your time with me. And I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, be happy, and get out there and take some damn photos. I'll see you guys later. Bye.